Hey everybody, this is Isaac,
Taylor,
and Zach,
and we're Hanson.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, obviously we're really proud of the first record, and anything that's come from the initial sort of success. But you end up with this. You look back and you go, wow, we've had 5 albums, we've toured the world, we've we've started on record company. You're just glad you've got fans years and years later. It's an
not
amazing
only that,
thing,
but just, Taylor, you have a huge. I mean, Isaac, you know how big your fan base is. I went and checked this morning early, and loyal. They know exactly what you're up to. It's almost to a point where you say, I don't want them to know that much, but I can't help it now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our fans are amazing, and there are a few moments where it's a little bit like, wait a second, how do you know that?
But I think that's what you mean is when they go, oh, you'll be at this place next week. And you're like, I don't know that. I don't know my schedule. I don't know my schedule.
Well, but it's for us. It's always been about trying to find a way to cultivate that connection. And I think a big part of it is, of course, just making records every time that you feel like you're really proud of,
Yeah.
I mean, never coasting, never putting it on cruise control and like, oh, well, people are expecting this, so this is what we're going to do.
And Zach, help me on this. If I'd been to another planet, like for the past 5 or 6 years, and I came back and said, oh, Hanson, I remember. Could you catch me up to speed just on the basic bio? Like, okay, Taylor's married, I'm married, so and so and so. I have a kid on the way, whatever. Could you
Well, I mean, this is our 5th record. We, run our own label. We've been doing that for a long time now, and we're all married. Taylor has 4 kids. I've got 2 kids. One due in December, so that'll be 2. And then Isaac has 2 kids, and we've been doing the band for like 13 years now.
New record. It came out in June. It's called Shout It Out.
Yeah.
And we
I've been thinking about something that's on the record.
Yeah.
Give us some heads up for other tracks on the album.
Well, the song that's going to be the follow-up single after Think About Something, and in due time is a song called Give a Little. And definitely both those songs are some of the most pop songs on the record, but it's a little bit of a retro throwback again. It has this sort of 60s pop feel. And there's the opening track, Waiting for This, is I think sort of a pinnacle track for the record. It has the title of the album.
Very piano driven.
And with the whole album, I mean, we've always talked about our own influences of classic rock and roll and R&B. This record, we kind of came back to that a little more. It's more piano driven. We've got horn arrangements done by Jerry Hay, who was
he's awesome.
Known for the just classic Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, amazing. Bob Babbitt, one of the Funk Brothers, played bass on a lot of the record.
Motown.
Him and
so
Stevie Wonder. There's a real. I think for us, we've always had a huge amount of respect for what's come before us and for what we were inspired by, and there's a kind of a sense of putting that back into your music and making it new again. So I think this record is probably the most in deference to that stuff of records we've made, and we'll see what the next one is.
Well, in the video, somebody throws a guitar I think it's to you, Ike, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually throw a guitar to myself.
Yeah, I thought so.
Plays 2 parts.
The guy who threw it to you looks like you, but it's you.
It's me with a beard.
It's a space-time continuum thing. It's weird.
There was a flux capacitor.
If you come to Tulsa, you can throw guitars to yourself. It's a weird thing. But the music video, for people aren't actually looking at it, it's part of, for one, the song is sort of a throwback. It's a little bit of a retro kind of a vibe, and we wanted to create sort of a video that captured sort of the innocence and the vibrance of that song, and also
the retro feeling.
The retro feeling. So we essentially recreated a scene from the famous Blues Brothers movie with Ray Charles. So the dancing in the street, and we rebuilt this music store where famously Ray Charles and the Blues Brothers played. So we kind of recreated that scene. And we did it.
Really lucky that we found places that looked right in Tulsa.
Yeah,
where we're
was
from.
that in Tulsa?
We did it in Tulsa. Yeah.
You're kidding?
Absolutely.
That's not on a Hollywood backstage.
No, we actually have one of the historic streets in Tulsa, in our hometown, that looked. That's where we did the street scene. Looked amazingly similar in the shape, kind of in the position. And we had our friend Weird Al Yankovic, who guest appeared as a tambourine player.
Yeah, he's right on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you watch it and you're like, is that?
That's what I did. I said, it looks like Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and we kind of liked the fact that it was a little bit off the cuff. It wasn't just like, here's Weird Al right in the front. Right. So yeah, we had a lot of fun, and it's been amazing to see people respond to the music video. Because I think it does capture the energy of the song.
Is it one of those that you did it all in one day?
We did it in 2 days.
2 days,
yeah.
but two very, very full days. I mean, there was about, of the dancing in the street scenes, there was about 30 dancers who had been learning the dances for, 2 weeks. But the 400 people that were in the streets. I mean, most of those people just learned the dance the morning of. So I mean, they spent all morning, you know, doing dancing. Everyone was watching it, and then I mean, to teach the 300 people to do the dance was
got a choreographer on a microphone with a big PA, like, all right, everybody, left hand down, okay, right hand, and then your knees, and shake.
We had, you know, I think probably 300 or 400 people in the street.
I mean, hopefully people can tell that we had so much fun making that video and the song. I mean, you know, we're not dancers, but we do dance in the video just because it seemed so appropriate to that feeling of just people, you know, letting loose and music unlocking people and causing, you know, that.
But you danced well. You have natural
Thank you.
rhythm.
Thank you.
And you obviously have natural harmony. When did you discover, who taught the three of you as boys that harmony we just heard?
We listened to a lot of classic rock and roll albums, you know, listened to 50s and 60s soul music and rock and roll. And the harmonies, to be honest, that was one of those things where we just all heard harmony. You know, it's sort of like
I will give credit where it's due. Taylor in particular has a really, really good ear, and particularly early on had a really good ear for it. So
yeah, and we had amazing amazing mom who was very musical, had a great voice. So we had it in the genes. Our dad was a performer as well. So it was in the bloodstream, you know. And then of course, like anything, you know, if you decide you're going to do it, then you start actually practicing.
How often do you see each other away from business?
Well,
as little as possible.
But that's good, though. That's good. You have your families, right?
We have our families. You know, we do in a good way. I mean, we're proud of what we do. We love doing it, but we work a lot. You know, we're on tour for months at a time, or you're in the studio for 12-hour days working on a record for months at a time. And so when we go home,
we have our own little. Everybody has their own
little worlds of, you know, I'm going to go do my thing, you're going to do yours. And
when we're at home, we generally don't call each other. We're like, hey, dude.
It's healthy, though. I mean, it's a healthy, you know, we enjoy spending time around each other. But I was joking to Isaac, I was like, you know, in my life, I've probably spent 80% of my life within earshot of you.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I love painting, I love photography, architecture, you know, kind of anything that's involving being outdoors. I'm probably the most into sort of athletic stuff, just random, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the Sooners and all that?
Yeah, not as much following sports, but just doing things, just being outside, being outdoors, hiking.
Well, I'm a Sooners fan.
Yeah. There you go.
Ike is the old man, Hanson. Ike likes pipes and, you know, and
whiskey and reading books and football too.
and Zach?
I'm probably, you know, more stereotypical video games, extreme sports, sci-fi, and you know, that kind of stuff.
Who do you have to thank for your hair? Which are your parents? Because you know what, the Bee Gees, as great as they were, and certainly Phil Collins and all these people, at a certain point Elton John had to say goodbye yellow hair.
Right.
You know.
Our mom's dad, our mom's side of the family, I think, is where the hair comes from. Who knows whether we'll keep it as long as they did? But apparently you're supposed to get your hair from your mom's father, and he had a full head of hair till he was 90. So
wow.
We'll see. We'll see.
We were on stage last night, and right before the curtains open, you know, we do our little band huddle, and you know, Taylor said it. I think it was, you know, we have a really good job, and no matter how tired you are every night, or you know how stressed out you are about this or that, you know, we get to go on stage and there's 1,500, 2,000 people standing out there screaming their heads off, you know, wanting to enjoy themselves, and it's our job to, you know, enjoy this experience and not forget that we're lucky to be where we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Then he said, and then in the middle of a show, if a pair of panties lands on your head, continue to concentrate.
Stay focused.
Because that's happened before.
Oh yeah.
I saw it happen to Hanson.